Hey guys, it's Mr. Cram. They won't let me back in the building to make these videos, and that's okay. Parents, here's what I want. In 2 or 3 weeks, whenever we get back, I want your kids to be able to roll into whatever we're learning next without having missed a beat, okay? We're off school for a while, and my plan is to make one of these a day. It's 15 minutes of math, and just doing this little bit will help them retain what they already know. That's my goal, okay? So, here's the thing. This is my email address. Pause here if you need to. If there's anything you want me to cover at all, for any grade level, any subject, let me know and I can teach it. It's fine. I like doing that kind of stuff actually. I'll check my email every day. Nothing too small to cover. So, for real, if there's some concept that your child is struggling with, I guarantee they're not alone. And if you tell me, I can teach it, and then we can make good use of these days off. So, all right. So, pause here. Get pencil and paper. I want to do about 15 minutes, like I said, maybe even less. Go ahead, just pause. Okay, are you back? Okay. I have my whiteboard, I have my marker. The thing I want to cover right now, fractions. And this is day one. Every day these lessons are going to get a little bit more and more complex, but I got to start easy, okay? And even if you're slightly bored by how easy this is, just do it anyways because it will build, and just doing this will just keep it fresh in your head. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and start. Start with the basics of fractions. All right, fractions, it's just pieces of a number, right? So, actually, do this. Okay. We have, of course, this line in a fraction. It just means dividing, but number on the bottom, the denominator, just tells how many pieces there are. If this was a pizza, there's going to be 4 parts in that pizza. Now, currently, this is empty. I mean, there's no pizza actually in here. If there was a slice left, there was a slice, I would have 1 part out of 4. If I had all the slices, I'd have 4 parts out of 4, which would actually be the whole pizza. Okay, rock on. So, all right. Draw this out for me. Draw a candy bar that is composed of 3 pieces. All right, go ahead and do that. Okay. To make 3 equal parts, I drew 2 lines down the middle. If this was 4, so I would have drawn 3 lines down the middle. So, anyways, if it looks like this, awesome. Make sure they're kind of the same size. I know your drawing might not be perfect, but fractions, they really do need to be the same, like equal pieces. Okay. Shade in 2 of those. Just shade them in 2 parts out of the 3. Pause if you need to. All right. I'm going to go with this piece. And I'm going to go with this piece. It's 2/3. 2 parts out of 3. All right. Draw a candy bar that has 5 equal parts. So you're going to make 4 lines. And don't erase if you mess it up. Just pretend they're equal sizes. Okay. 5 parts, so draw 4 lines. And pause if you need a second to do that. All right, 5 parts. Draw 4 lines. Okay, so that's in fifths. The denominator tells me how many parts there are, and if I shade it in, I don't know, why don't you shade in 3 of them? Shade in any 3. Shade in, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 parts out of 5. Okay. Now, do these 3, and then I want to move on. I'm going to keep this moving. Let's do candy bar rectangles for all these. Let's do 1/3, 3/4, and then let's do half. Make 3 separate rectangles. Show each one of these fractions. Pause here. I'm going to give you the answers. Okay. Hopefully you paused it and you have pictures now. All right, so 1/3. Okay, so this is in thirds. This is 3 parts. All right. There's my 3 parts. I got a shade in one of them. Right. This one's in 4 parts. Right. 1 part, 2 parts, 3 parts, 4 parts right there. I've got a shade in 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. Now that's almost the whole candy bar, which is interesting. And this one's half. Check it out. Denominator says I only need to cut it in 2 parts. That's easy. Just slice it down the middle. Shade in one of them. I'm going to go crazy. I'll shade in this one over here. All right. 1/3, 3/4, then 1/2. You know, it's interesting. If I was to say which one was the largest, like which one had the most filled up, I'd have to say 3/4. Yeah, that's got the most area shaded in. Okay. I want to move on now. If you can draw those fractions, that's great. I want to talk about adding different fractions together now, and I want you to think of it like this. If I have 2/3, right? I want you to think of this as like the denominator is like a language, okay? Language works when they're talking to somebody who understands them, right? So that fraction 2/3 speaks the language of 3. 1/3 also speaks the language of 3. And if I wanted to add them together, it's easy. Because the language, when you meet someone else and you become friends, the language you speak together, it doesn't change, right? You speak English and they're going to speak English, or you speak Spanish, your friend speaks Spanish, you're still going to speak Spanish, right? Denominators, when you add them together, they don't change. It's just they're going to still speak the language of 3. A lot of kids, they want to add 3 plus 3 is 6. No, it's basically saying like, oh, these 2 people became friends and they speak an entirely new language, the language of 6? No, that's crazy talk. Don't do that. They still speak the language of 3. They get along just fine. Right. Now, the numerator, though, I've got 2 slices. This is actually slices of pizza or pieces of chocolate. I don't care. Whatever. 2 here and then 1 here. And if I actually drew that out, I mean, it's 2 parts out of 3, right? Here's my parts. 1 part, 2 part, 3 parts. 1, 2. This one's 1/3. All right. So basically, I got to take these 2 slices and this slice and then put them together into a box. I'm not a genius. I'll never claim to be, but I know 2 slices plus 1 slice is going to give me 3 slices. 1 slice, 2 slice, 3/3. That's a whole pizza. Cool. All right. I'm going to erase this. Let me give you an easy one here. I'm going to write the fraction number sentence, and I want you to draw the picture and the number sentence and solve it, okay? For the pictures, use pizza right now, just because that's fast. I'm going to do fourths. You just have to put a little X and then a little cross. All right, here we go. Write this number sentence down. Pause it if you need to. Let's do 2 parts out of 4 plus 1 part out of 4. All right. Now, I want you to draw these. Pause it here and draw those fractions, okay? I'm going to do it too. All right, so I drew my fourths and my fourths. My wife just came downstairs and she's looking at me. She doesn't know that I'm taping now. She figured it out. All right, anyways, so I got fourths here and I got fourths here. Now, the numerator is what I shade in, so I got 2 parts of 4 here, 1 part here. Okay. Now, these guys speak the same language. They speak the language of 4. That's great. They can get along just fine. They don't need a translator. Fourths and fourths. They're still going to speak the same language when I add them up, right? That's not going to change. 2 parts plus the 1 part is 3 parts, right? I drew that out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I've got 2 fourths plus 1 fourth basically equals 3 fourths. Now, if you understood to not change your denominator, because really this is just a language they speak, awesome. You're really where you need to be. I'm going to keep going though, all right? Now, I'm going to keep track of my time here. I'm at 10 minutes, so I got 5 minutes left. I want you to try one on your own. If you want to draw it out, you can. If you don't need to draw it out, don't draw it out. I'm going to do both. Teacher, I like to do that stuff. All right. I use candy bar pictures for mine, but do this. Let's go ahead and do, let's do fifths. All right. Let's do fifths. Let's go the language of 5. The language of 5. All right, let's go. Ooh, 1/5, and then 3/5. All right. Pause it, write down this number sentence, draw the picture if you want to, and then solve it. Okay, so pause if you need to. All right, hopefully you paused it. Okay, I'm going to solve it and draw it. Candy bar. Candy bar. Now, if I'm speaking the language of 5, I need to draw basically 4 lines. That'll give me 5 sections. Okay, 1 part out here, and then 3 parts. I drew mine separate just to show you that it doesn't really matter, right? Okay, now, they speak the language of 5, so that language does not change just because they're friends now. Does not change. So, I draw out my answer, and I will. Got my fifths. 1 part plus 3 parts is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I got 4 parts out of 5, which you can see that picture. I mean, it's almost the entire candy bar, which is cool, I guess. Okay, rock on. All right, cool. Let's do 2 more, and I'll just give you the answers. Actually, you know what? Let's go crazy. Let's do 3 more. All right, I'm going to write these down. I'm going to show you the board. I want you to pause it. I want you to write them down. And then if you get 3 right answers, that's awesome. Okay, if you get 2 right answers, that's also awesome. If you get 1, cool. That means somewhere you know what you're doing, and that's good. All right, I make mistakes all the time, so don't worry if you don't get them all right. All right, let's go. Okay, jot these down. 7/9 plus 1/9. And guys, I mean, you can draw this out if you want to with a candy bar. You would draw 8 lines and try and make them equal sizes if you can. We've got fifths here, 2/5 plus 1/5, and then 1/4 plus 1/4. All right, and go ahead and solve these. Pause here if you need to. Okay. Now, they speak the language of 9. That doesn't change. 7 parts plus 1 part. 8 parts, right? 8/9. It's almost 9/9. It's almost a whole, but it's not quite there yet. This one speaks the language of fifths. Well, that's going to stay the same. Then I got 2 parts that are actually filled in, plus 1 part that are filled in. It's 2 plus 1 is 3. It's 3/5, right? And then 1/4, 1/4. They speak the language of 4. So we're good to go already. Denominator does not change. Okay. 1 plus 1 is 2. It's 2/4. 2 parts out of 4. It's basically half. Okay. Now if you got those 3 right, rock on. And here's the deal, guys. If you felt like this was easy, it really is. Kids only really get messed up when they're trying to say 9 plus 9. At the bottom here is 18. 9 plus 9 is 18, but it's like saying somebody who speaks German meets another person who speaks German. And then all of a sudden they start speaking French. It doesn't make any sense. German, German, German. Spanish, Spanish, Spanish. Portuguese, Portuguese, Portuguese. Language doesn't change, right? So rock on. Now, tomorrow what I'm going to do is start trying to figure out what happens when I have a larger numerator than a denominator. It's super easy. All right, this is my 15 minutes. If you guys did this, I'm proud of you, and I will be back tomorrow. And parents, thank you for your support. Please let me know what you guys need. Email me, whatever. I have time. All right, see you guys.